You know, the scariest thing about Resident Evil 9 is not that monster that you just saw in the clip or zombie, but the fact that it feels like a complete $70 game. Like it was like built to be played and completed, not managed. So not farmed, not stretched, not held together by seasonal updates, but and once you notice that, it becomes really hard to unsee what's really going on with the modern AAA standards that we've been receiving for the past year and even last year. So this isn't really like a Resident Evil 9 review, but this is me drawing a line in the sand because Resident Evil 9 Requiem sets the standard in modern games, like and how it should be judged by. Quick context so you know where I'm coming from. I played most of this franchise, not because I'm loyal to a brand, but because Resident Evil is one of the only AAA game series that's repeatedly had the guts to change. And with Requiem or Resident Evil 9, Capcom accidentally exposes the entire industry because it passes what I'm calling the $70 standard. If a publisher wants 70 bucks, the game should meet four requirements: respect my time, respect my attention, respect the craft, and respect a clear identity. And Resident Evil Requiem clears all four. A lot of AAA games right now don't even try. And I'm gonna show you without turning this into a rant. Modern AAA has a value problem. Not because games are just bad, but because they are designed to look valuable on a feature list. So the term value becomes bigger maps, longer run times, more systems, more currencies, more stuff. But a lot of that stuff isn't meaning, it's padding. It's the kind of design that doesn't ask, what does the player feel in this hour? It asks, how do we keep the player here for 100 hours or more? And I don't even blame developers first. I blame incentives. When success is measured in engagement, time becomes the product. This is where live service rot creeps in. Because live service isn't just updates, it's a design philosophy. It says your attention is not something we earn, it's something that we capture. So you get daily, weekly chores or missions or login check ins, FOMO cosmetics, roadmaps that replace endings, or menus that look like storefronts. And we've seen how brutal the failure rate is when AAA chases that model. Not indie experiments, but big brands backed with corporations. Conquered shut down incredibly fast after launch. Suicide Squad killed the Justice League, ended major support, and had to pivot with an online mode update. Marvel's Avengers got delisted after its live service run. Anthem never became Anthem Next. The overhaul got canceled. And that's not me being a hater of those types of games that follow those models. That's the reality of the gamble. And here's the part where nobody wants to say out loud. When a game is built around retention, it becomes disposable the second the retention drops. Now, here's what makes Resident Evil 9 Requiem such a loud statement. Capcom literally said that they experimented with online or open world ideas and then walked it back. They shipped the game as a single player offline game. That one decision already puts it at odds with half the industry because Resident Evil 9 isn't asking, how do we keep you forever? It asks, how do we max the next section or the next 12 minutes unforgettable for the player? Oh, shit! Let's talk time. A first playthrough of Resident Evil 9 is not a 90-hour lifestyle game, and that's good, because what you get instead is density. Every location is doing at least one of three things: building dread, testing your resource decisions, escalating stakes. There's a puzzle box mentality to how areas are structured, where progress is earned through observation, routing, and tension, not checklist. And it means the game doesn't need filler side quests to feel complete. It's not long to prove a point. It's tight because it has a point. And I'm gonna say the line that will start arguments. I would rather pay 70 bucks for 12 unforgettable hours than 80 hours of padded mediocrity. Because time isn't free, and Resident Evil 9 treats you or treats your time like it matters. RE9 or Resident Evil 9 does something that AAA keeps forgetting to do. It lets a game be a game. No battle pass tabs, no seasonal grind, no login or miss out. Now, before someone clips this, yes, I know there's a deluxe edition with cosmetics. Fine, I even bought it myself. But here's the difference: the monetization is adjacent to the experience of the game, and it's not baked into it. The game itself is not designed to funnel you toward a store. The game doesn't force you to buy it. It's designed to funnel you toward an ending or a different kind of experience. And that feels weirdly rare right now. One of the hardest things to do in modern AAA is commit to a tone, because trend chasing creates identity crisis. A little horror, a little looter, a little open world, a little extraction, co op, seasonal content, and suddenly the game doesn't feel like anything at all. Resident Evil 9 avoids that by doing something bold. It doesn't pretend it's one flavor. It's basically two complementary experiences that feed each other. Something that Resident Evil 6 failed to do before. But anyway, Grace is vulnerability, tension, survival horror. Leon is pressure release, action competence, momentum. And the crazy part is it's not a mode select, it's not a menu. It's woven into the pacing, like a director controlling when you breathe. So instead of bloat, you get contrast. Instead of variety as content padding, you get variety as a rhythm. This is the design decision I think AAA studios should study. Perspective and tone are tools here, not identity confusion. Resident Evil 9 can shift between first person dread and third person action without feeling like two separate games stapled together. And that's not just a gimmick, it affects how you play, how brave you feel, how you read space, how you manage inventory, how you approach encounters. It's the kind of idea that sounds simple until you try to execute it at AAA polish. Which brings me to the third standard. AAA budgets are massive. So players aren't wrong when they ask, where is the money going? Resident Evil 9 is one of the cleanest answers to that questions in years, because you can feel the craft in the animation weight, the lighting mood, the environmental detail, responsiveness, encounter staging, sound design that actually controls your nerves. This is a game with restraint, and that restraint makes polish visible. And you can see the reception reflect that reviews were strong and the launch on PC was huge. But here's the important part: that success didn't come from reinventing the wheel, it came from doing the fundamentals at a level most studios stopped prioritizing. Now, for credibility, here's what I don't want you to hear. I don't want you to hear that Resident Evil 9 is perfect. It isn't. First is the price. $70 is still $70. It's expensive. And not everyone is going to pay like okay to pay that amount for a tighter runtime. That's real. Second, pacing. Even people who like the dual protagonist idea have pointed out that it can feel uneven. Third is the fan service. If you're allergic to franchise callbacks or cameos and stuff like that, Resident Evil 9 is not shy about showing what it is, but it's at least it doesn't glaze on that much. And fourth, extras. If you live for bonus modes, you might feel that absence. So no, this isn't blind worship or glazing over Resident Evil 9. This is a trade-off analysis. And my conclusion is still the same. I'll take a game that is dense, finished, and intentional over a game that's big because it's scared that you'll stop playing their product. So here's the line in the sand part. If AAA studios want to normalize $70, then this is the standard or the bare minimum that they should be judged by. Not the map size, not hours of content, not like the graphical fidelity of Leon's hair. The standard should be, did you respect my time? Did you respect my attention? The craft, and finally the identity. Resident Evil 9 Requiem does that. And that's why it doesn't just succeed as a sequel of a long-running franchise that's been going on for 20 years or more. It exposes how many modern AAA games have been built backwards, starting from monetization and retention and building an experience around it. Resident Evil 9 builds the experience first. And if more studios did that, players wouldn't be so exhausted. Hey guys, I want to thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to watch like my live session for finishing the Resident Evil 9 game, you can find it on my lives tab. And if you want to see clips or whatever, you could just let me know for a particular reaction and I'll try to work on it. It's been a while since I've made like a lengthy video like this. I did have like a project before where I also made a tier list for all the Resident Evil games, but that time I did have a reason. I just recently upgraded my PC and I can't wait to show you guys the video about it. If you guys enjoyed the video once again, or if you want comments, like if you want to disagree with me or argue with me, you can leave it at the comments and I'll do my best to respond or whatever. So yeah, like, subscribe, hit the notification, and I'll see you guys next time.